Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we're going to tackle a massive, yet somehow rarely talked about headache that absolutely plagues scaling software startups. We're looking at how to fix the utterly chaotic way that engineering and operations teams actually buy things. Software, hardware, services, the whole shebang. Now, if you're an engineering leader or an ops manager, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You need tools to move fast, but finance, well, they need visibility and control. And usually those two needs clash spectacularly. But today, we're going to look at a solution that bridges that gap perfectly.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever found yourself asking this exact question? Literally, where did that purchase request go? Is it buried in some Slack thread from 3 weeks ago? Did someone verbally approve it by the coffee machine? The reality for a lot of fast-moving tech teams is that the process for actually buying things is, well, it's completely fragmented. You've got developers and ops teams who are hyper-organized when it comes to their code and their sprints, but the second they need to buy a new server instance or a software license, bam, the process suddenly turns into the Wild West.
So what ends up happening is the creation of what we can call the shadow procurement stack. Oh, you know the one. It's made up of rapid-fire Slack DMs to managers, lost emails pinging between departments, and those completely outdated spreadsheets that someone in finance is desperately trying to manually reconcile at the end of the month. To put it in a way devs will instantly get, running your purchasing like this is exactly like deploying unversioned code directly to production. No way, right? It offers absolutely no control, zero visibility, and frankly, it drives your finance and compliance teams completely crazy because there is absolutely no audit trail.
So, enter Raley Procurement for Jira and JSM. Think of Raley as a sort of Trojan horse for organizational sanity. Technical teams already live and breathe in Jira, right? It's where their real work happens. Raley basically turns Jira into a structured purchasing hub, enabling your Atlassian stack for business teams. It gives finance the strict audit trails and controls they desperately need, without, and this is absolutely crucial, without forcing your developers to log into some clunky, bloated ERP software that they hate and will literally do anything to avoid using.
Now you might be wondering, hey, we already use Jira. Can't we just spin up a native Jira Service Management form to handle internal requests? Well, the crucial difference here is the boundary between a simple IT ticketing template and actual procurement orchestration. See, basic native Jira forms are just static templates. Sure, they collect info, but they completely lack true procurement logic. Raley Procurement, on the other hand, is a dedicated request-to-purchase order control layer. It brings real purchasing rules, budget checks, and heavy-duty financial rigor right into the Jira environment. So it's not just an asset catalog, it's a full-blown end-to-end purchasing workflow.
Let's move on and see how this builds into a completely frictionless operational workflow. Because instead of jumping between Slack, an email thread, and a messy spreadsheet, the entire lifecycle happens in one single system. Step 1, an engineer makes a request via the JSM portal. Step 2, quotes are managed and attached right there. Step 3, a formal purchase order is generated the second it's approved. And finally, Step 4, you track the delivery directly from the ticket view. It's just a seamless 4-step flow that gives literally everyone, from the engineer asking for the software to the CFO approving the spend, full traceability without ever leaving their primary workspace.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how deep this financial control actually goes right inside Jira. Just look at this setup. Ops and finance leaders can actively build cost codes, assign suppliers, and even create specific department budgets directly within the tool. You absolutely do not have to context switch over to a separate accounting platform just to see, if the marketing team has enough budget left for a new SaaS tool or if infrastructure can afford that server upgrade. The budget parameters live right there, exactly where the requests are being made. And of course, control really means nothing without proper approvals. With Raley, you can easily set up product approval types and company approval tiers based on specific dollar thresholds. So what this means is your spend governance scales automatically. Think about it. If a developer requests a $20 headset, boom, it routes for quick, localized approval. But if a team requests a $50,000 annual software contract, the system automatically triggers a multi-step, budget-aware approval chain involving directors or finance. And it's all governed by the rules you set up right here. It's one way to buy with consistent data every single time.
And honestly, this is where the magic really happens for your ops and finance leaders. Because Raley sits natively inside Jira, you get these beautiful live dashboards showing real-time spend visibility. You can instantly see total spent, pending approvals, PO statuses, and exact department budget breakdowns. Just imagine your ops team reviewing these financial metrics right next to their active engineering sprints. It brings complete financial transparency right to the technical, operational layer. You get the audit trails that satisfy finance,
and perfectly clear visibility for everyone else.
Now, just to be super clear here, Raley isn't trying to completely replace massive global ERP suites like SAP Ariba or Coupa. No way. Instead, it makes Jira the connected front door hub. It features a really powerful REST API for seamless ERP integrations, meaning it connects directly to your heavy accounting and inventory systems on the back end. It also supports complex real-world stuff like multi-currency workflows and tax rates, and you can bulk import up to 1,000 products just to get started quickly. So it does all the heavy lifting of orchestration on the front end and plays perfectly nicely with your core financial systems on the back end.
So it really all boils down to this: procurement that lives where your team already works. This is the ultimate win-win for scaling software startups. You finally get to standardize your buying. You get the consistent data, the solid budget limits, and the audit-ready compliance that your finance team practically begs for. And you get all of that without forcing a highly technical, super fast-moving engineering team to abandon the Jira environment they already rely on every single day.
So, I really want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Take a hard look at your current processes. Are you ready to stop hunting through Slack DMs for budget approvals and start tracking your spend exactly where your code and your operations actually live? By centralizing your procurement logic right inside Jira, you aren't just buying a tool, you're literally buying back your team's time and your company's sanity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly recommend looking at how you can streamline your own internal purchasing workflows today.